Hello, and how's it going, everyone? It is your pale gaming news vampire here, with another update about that Bethesda Xbox exclusivity situation. The community just discovered 2 new Bethesda bundles for previous games from Arcane and from id Studios for the next generation of gaming. However, these 2 ESRB ratings for these 2 game bundles only seem to have ratings for the Xbox Series X and S, and not the PS5, so a lot of people are wondering if this perhaps could be the first signs of Bethesda and Xbox exclusivity. I'm going to break this situation down for you all today and give you my opinion on all of this, and we're going to take a closer look at this situation. First off, you can see the 2 specific game bundles right here. This one is Dishonored and Prey, the Arcane Collection by Bethesda Softworks, and then over here we have Wolfenstein Alt History Collection by Bethesda Softworks. Now, first of all, both of these different collections feature 4 games, and I believe that the Dishonored and Arcane collection will feature Dishonored, Dishonored 2, Dishonored Death of the Outsider, and then Prey, because Arcane, obviously. And then I believe the Wolfenstein Alternate History collection will most likely feature Wolfenstein The New Order, Wolfenstein The Old Blood, Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, and Wolfenstein Youngblood, which was a totally kind of different thing. And this is kind of interesting because I'm wondering what kind of next-gen upgrades we are going to see from these games. Are we indeed going to see updated visuals, or are there going to be like more improvements made, or even additional content in these games? I don't believe there's going to be additional content per se, but I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. Basically, the summary of both of these games here doesn't really tell you what specific updates we should see from these next-gen versions, but if you look at the platforms right here, it says Xbox Series, which obviously is the Xbox Series X and the Series S. The same thing is over here for the Wolfenstein Alt History Collection, both for the Xbox Series, with no mention of the PS5 or Sony anywhere on here. And unlike the fake, the PlayStation logo was taken down from the Starfield website rumor that was going around recently, which was totally made up and totally fake, this situation actually is indeed like one of the first signs, in my opinion, that we might indeed have some Bethesda and Xbox exclusivity, like almost right out of the gate at launch, which I guess should be expected, because at first, judging by like how Microsoft was just focusing on Game Pass and kept only talking about Game Pass, I was kind of actually believing we might not see too much Bethesda and Xbox exclusivity. However, now my mind is slowly changing, because here we are with these ESRB ratings, and let's take a look at some other older Bethesda games to see what their ratings did too, because some people brought up the fact that maybe this is just the rating for the Xbox specific version of the game, but that is not how it works with the ESRB. As you can see here, we're looking at Skyrim, and as you can see, Skyrim has some ESRB ratings for multiple platforms per rating, meaning this one right here has Windows PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. This one is for Skyrim VR, so it's Windows PC and PlayStation 4. And then obviously Skyrim for the Switch came out later on, so that's why we see Switch by itself over here with this rating. So basically what this page tells us is that it's basically the norm for a game to have multiple platforms listed per rating, unless one game comes out later than another one for a different platform, like in this case, Skyrim for Nintendo Switch. So seeing these 2 bundles only for the Xbox Series is interesting, because first of all, we don't see PC listed on the platforms alongside the Xbox Series, so maybe PC is just truly getting like wrapped up into the Xbox Series now. However, that would be kind of weird. I don't think that would happen, but I mean, look, these ratings aren't saying PC. However, I'm not an expert when it comes to the ESRB. I know more about like how trademarks and stuff works. I don't really know the ins and outs and all the like procedures of the ESRB rating system, so maybe we might see Sony pop up on these ratings as well. Maybe Sony's just like still getting reviewed or something, but like, where's PC? It's just, the only reason I say that is because PC's not on here. here, and I'm expecting at least PC to pop up on this too, or maybe get its own rating, or maybe PC isn't going to get this bundle, but that like wouldn't make any sense. The situation is very, very interesting, and it's just kind of strange for Xbox to be the only platform listed on here, especially when any Microsoft exclusivity would obviously involve the PC as well. But if you're like an expert in this ESRB situation, let me know what you think about this. Do you think Sony might like pop back up on this list because that might be the case? Or another thing that I think might be happening here is that these two bundles are going to be timed exclusives for Xbox and inevitably the PC as well, maybe for like a year, and then we'll see the separate PS5 Sony ESRB rating for these two bundles pop up like a year later. I mean, VoxStallion over on Twitter does bring up a good point. He says they are last generation games, which they are, and PlayStation doesn't really do an effort to make games available cross-gen, so he doesn't think this is a sign of exclusivity, but who knows? And although cross-gen is a separate situation than like these remaster bundles, he brings up a good point because Sony kind of tries to do almost the opposite thing of Microsoft. I mean, Microsoft is working with cross-play with some companies, and they're even talking with Nintendo and getting a close working relationship with Nintendo in some ways, so Sony kind of needs to change their business practices here. I'm wondering if this Bethesda and Xbox partnership will kind of push Sony to do that, and if that is the case, this could be a great thing for gaming as long as there isn't any major exclusivity. I don't want Starfield or like a new Doom game or something to only be Microsoft exclusive. I hate exclusivity in gaming, even though in this situation it would probably do more good than it would do harm to the gaming community, but I just don't like it when any portion of the gaming community is locked out of like accessing content unless they spend money on a certain piece of plastic. I just hate that, and I don't want to see that happening. In my opinion though, this does seem to be one of the first signs of some Bethesda and Xbox exclusivity stuff. However, only time will tell. We'll have to keep an eye on this and see if Sony and PC pops up on these ratings as well. I don't know why they'd only get separate ratings unless there was some sort of like exclusivity going on. But like I said, I'm not an expert. If you are, let me know what you think about this down in the comments below, or just let me know in general, even if you're not an expert, what you think about this situation. Do you think that this is a sign of Bethesda and Microsoft exclusivity, or do you think this is just like an early discovery and Sony still might pop up on these listings? That's gonna finish up today's video though. As always, this video was brought to you by the following amazing people. If you want to get a shout out like this, support the channel over on Ko-fi, Patreon, or here on YouTube as an exclusive channel member. There are links down in the description below for other ways to follow the channel and join the community, and as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time when Todd Howard signed an exclusive deal with Microsoft to only wear Xbox t-shirts for the next 5 years.
It just works.